Hello, everyone. This is Cole, and I will be discussing my proposal on exploring supportive communication in higher education and how that can impact mental health. So, I'm going to be examining how supportive communication can be used by faculty and staff to support students who are facing mental health challenges. Um, According to the Pew Research Center, adults and students 30 years of age and younger are more at risk of facing mental health disorders and suffering high levels of stress. According to the Pew Research Center, it's 47% were considered to have a stress or ongoing mental health issue. Students can be impacted by mental health challenges through college life, leading to challenges in academic, career, finances, and relationships with family and friends. This can cause higher levels of depression, anxiety, stress, and burnout, leading to students feeling isolated and alone and a lack of motivation to completing their college program. That is why looking at supportive communication and communication training can help students who are facing mental health struggles. So, why is this important? Well, understanding why supportive communication can be used to help students struggling with mental health is important because it understands why faculty and staff investing their time to learn appropriate communication skills such as active listening, which is the use of engaging with another individual as they speak and showing that you understand either by showing nonverbal body language or repeating some of the information they gave back to show that you are actively using that skill to be emotionally connected when they're speaking. Emotional cognition, where you're understanding your own emotions and those around you, in the use of nonverbal and verbal body language. That is why faculty and staff providing connections where students feel heard and supported in a safe environment can build that trust and helping students to feel that they are being seen and heard. Having universities provide ongoing communication techniques, especially supportive communication, can help lower the stigma attached to mental health and students seek mental health resources. So, the process of understanding the stigma attached can be used by, be understood by the faculty and staff who are getting the ongoing training and help reduce that stigma that students face in college life for seeking the resources and support they need. So I looked at three main concepts for my proposal, which would be mental health, supportive communication, and communication training. So in the past literature, it was shown that mental health can be described as the emotional and psychological well-being of students that can be impacted through their daily life. Um, the second concept that I looked at was supportive communication skills, which could be used to help reinforce and support students through active listening, which shows that you are engaging and listening intently and are also processing what is being said to them, said by them. Emotional cognition, which is the understanding of your own emotion behaviors as well as those around you, and nonverbal body language such as mirroring, head nods, eye contact, and body positioning, which could be also where you bend forward or lean in when someone's speaking, facing them, uh, acknowledging what's being said by just nodding and shaking your head. So the third concept was communication training, which helps teach supportive communication to both faculty and staff that can build a stronger connection and build further trust and support. This can be done through a deeper knowledge of how supportive communication can be applied to those who have higher feelings of isolation because of less communication and higher levels of feeling just isolated and stigmatized by those around them because of the mental health challenges that they are facing. So one training method that I saw used in past literature that was incorporated by both faculty and staff member, as well as students who wanted to be allies with mental health challenges, was the MHFA, which is the Mental Health First Aid Training, which helped students, faculty, and staff engage in supportive communication skills when engaging with students who are having struggles in mental health. So for my theory, I was looking at emotional response theory, or ERT, which relies on that humans' emotions are reactions and not a cause to stimuli to a situation. So the theory examines how emotions can be a direct response to further shaping their behavior. So for this, one example of ERT in an education setting is when students would be facing depression, which would be caused by an environment or external stimuli, such as a stressful situation or anxiety due to grades, further reflecting on their inner and outer emotion and behavior, so which would be lack of emotion or crying. In my research proposal for the research question, I looked at two different populations, which were faculty and staff, because their interaction with students will vary, as faculty may have only a student one time and staff may have that um, con consistent interaction with the student. So I was looking at what roles does supportive communication play in staff's interaction with college students struggling with mental health. And then I also looked for my second research question is what role does supportive communication play in faculty's interaction with students struggling with mental health? So for my method section with participants, I am going to be looking for full-time faculty and staff who work at SUNY universities. I looked at 7 SUNY universities. Um, I do want them to be diverse ages, genders, race, culture, and background, as diversity is going to be a key point to my proposal. So for the degree qualifications, since I am including staff, I do want to have a bachelor's degree as the minimum requirement for this study, and it can be higher though throughout, depending on who takes place or takes part in the study. So it doesn't just have to be a bachelor's, it could be master's or PhD. The sampling method that I'm planning on using is volunteer and snowball sampling. So the volunteer sampling means that the participants who are taking part are not going to be getting or receiving any monetary value for this study, as well as nothing from their employer. And snowball sampling, which is going to be if the participants take place and they go back to their university they work at, they can relay the study to others who fit the qualifications in order to take part in the study. So for my procedure part, I'm going to do in-person interviews with open-ended questions. Participants will be recruited through email, and secondary recruitment will be done through phone or email if they already engage with us that they want to take part. There will be face-to-face interviews, as this will be allowing more personal interactions as well as observational with nonverbal body language. We will know when this is complete, when data saturation has been completed, which means no new information or data will be received through the participants who are giving us information. So nothing new would be presented, and it would just be having the same information through the participants. Interviews are expected to be 45 to 60 minutes. I do want to have breaks in there just because I do want to limit the possibility of question fatigue. I know for a sample question I did provide in the slide, which would be what are some type of supportive communication skills you have utilized when talking with your students. So that is one example of a question that I had done. And I do want to say that there will be 60 participants taking place in the study, as that is what I felt would be appropriate for the study, doing in-person interviews as a qualitative open-ended study. So for the data analysis, I am going to be using field notes to ensure that everything is clear and able to be understood. Transcripts. Transcription of the recording to make sure that the data has been recorded properly. I want to remove any inconsistencies, so people who leave questions out or people who only answer half of the questions. Member checking is something I also do want to include just so I can get others' input on the study and the proposal to know if things are going smoothly and making sense. This is just a quick look at the schedule to show that it will be 23 months. You can look at that and just see the breakdown. So two potential findings would be supportive communication training for faculty and staff members to adequately use this form of communication. These skills can further show how trust is formed by faculty and staff and student relationships. Showing these skills could help improve students' behavior and emotion. The other one is psychological impact aligned with the supportive communication to help deepening and understanding the challenges students face in daily academic life. Understanding the importance of supportive communication in higher education through ongoing training can help improve mental health for students experience mental health challenges and struggles. Faculty and staff's relationships with students can also help build trust, reduce the risk of isolation, increase motivation using these supportive communications, and help reduce the stigma around mental health. So I want to thank you, everyone, and if you have any questions, you can message me and let me know if you want to know anything about anything else. Thank you. Have a great semester.